How's it going, guys? My name is Splattercat, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Warlock, Master of the Arcane. So, what have we been up to? Well, if you haven't been here in a while, we're pretty much winning. We are just on a ridiculous pain train of winning at the moment, but the game has not resolved to give up without a fight. So, what we've been doing is we've been pacifying neutral forces down in this area. There have been loads of neutral monsters just running around causing mayhem, just mischief, general problems for me. And so, now that we've got them more or less cleared out, there is the issue at hand of this ridiculous mystic portal down here. This spawns monsters, so we may have to leave a defense force down here. Not really sure how to neutralize one of those completely. We also have another invasion coming from monsters up here in the north, which was somewhat unexpected. So we've got to deal with that as well. Our fireball that we had charged up in the previous episode, we're going to go ahead and drop that on this gent right here. Do a little bit of damage to him and just see if we can get him to back off a tad. We don't really need to kill him, but I would prefer to keep him the hell away from us if at all possible. Now this unit is just going to get decimated if they decide to go do that, so let me see what upgrades they can use. Not a whole lot there, so that's unfortunate. Let's just leave them in town, and we'll kind of have them sit on their hands, and hopefully they'll survive this whole thing. We need to give ourselves a moment or two to get some of our cash flow back up and running. I notice we're a little bit out of gold. I've been spending like crazy. Such is the wages of war. There's really no way around it. Wars are costly. Wars are real costly. And so we've got a new spell up and ready to go, Corrupted Vapors. This is going to deal death magic to the target, and it's also going to put lesser weakness on them if they have a Bane to death magic, which I don't see too many Banes around, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. It does cost us a little bit of reputation, so it's probably not going to see much use. It was more just to see what else is on the end of the list. Now, we do have the ability to give ourselves weak. I'm going to go with weakness, actually. Maybe I'll be able to cast weakness on some of these bigger mobs and keep them out of my hair in the future. That would be something that I'd really like to work towards, kind of get myself saved a little bit from these neutrals. We are holding them off. We're holding our ground. We're doing pretty well in that regard, but still, I just don't really want to deal with them. What do we have here? A Demonologist Workshop. I think I already had that. And, ooh, a gold mine. Let's go ahead and do that because we could use the extra cash. I want to get some money flowing. I don't really like our cash flow situation. And now we have the ability to attack this group of vampires down here. Let's hit them with some arrows first. See if that'll soften them up a tad so that these minotaurs can finish them off. There we go. And so that kind of has, it's a double-edged sword right there because now we have to let these minotaurs rest. But we did get those enemies out of our territory. On top of that, if that weren't enough, if we didn't have enough problems already, we have multiple little undead spawners throughout our towns, and so we've actually ended up in a situation where we've got loads and loads of mobs behind enemy lines, causing problems, and just wreaking havoc, making us frustrated, making us just kind of feel the heat of this win. We actually have to work for it. We aren't going to be able to march straight into Paris, as it were. We're going to have to kind of, you know, we're going to kind of have to bombard a little bit and do a little bit more work. So up here at this location, I think it's probably a good idea just to keep putting in money-making pits. At this point, the more money we have, the better off we're going to be. And Nicholas Frost wants some of our mana, and we're going to let him have it because I just really don't want to have to fight him after I get done with this gent over here. Our Gallius has already taken its shot. I think that was from that last little bit while I was finishing up the last recording. We can attack with this group of skeletons, but it's probably not going to work out in our favor. We can attack with this one as well. Let's see if we can grill out some of those wolves. I didn't realize that he had moved wolves into that location. And so I think we just, did we push them out? No, the veterans just don't have a move. This guy right here, I'm going to try and retreat him up and out of the territory to get him healed up. I prefer not to lose a character right now. What else do we have? So we have a catapult here. Let's go ahead and we'll take some shots with our catapults, and that'll do a little bit of damage. I don't know why, but it's really gratifying just bombarding people with catapults. It always is. I enjoy doing it in every respect, although ballistas are pretty fun too, and I have no clue if I said that word right. Those historical kind of Roman words with the AEs on the end, you're never sure if you're going to be like balliste or ballisti or like how you're supposed to say it. You just have no clue whatsoever, or at least I don't. That could be on part of my ignorance. Now we have a trader here who's got the Cortana blade, which is pretty expensive, all things considered. It is expensive, but that's actually a really cool weapon. It does a lot of damage from life, and so I think I'm going to take it. And let's go to our Hall of Lords. What is he using? Oh, he already has a Cortana blade? Interesting, 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 interesting. So we actually didn't need that. The shield of, what is that? It counts as an armor. Let's give it to our ogre. I actually don't recall picking that up. I think we may have gotten it from a monster den that we cleared out in the past. So we have 2 Cortana blades. It's a little unfortunate that Gar can't use a weapon, but we do have an Elvish Bowmaster around somewhere. If we eliminate, oh, if we kill the Great Mage, that's right. I forgot, I remember getting that as a result from somewhere. I just don't remember what we were supposed to do to get it. Over here, that unit needs to be bombarded a tad. We'll put a little bit of damage on him from both Chickenville and Karoth. Just kind of wound it a little bit. He's not going to be able to conquer either of these, I don't think. Over here, we can shoot, but it's not going to do much. This is going to be completely inept. It's not really going to get anything done for us. Gar is looking like he is fully healed up, so let's bring him in and have him smash a fort or two. That seems to be something that he's pretty good at. Smashing forts, all things considered, would be a pretty good skill. Like, if your enemy has a fort, I can smash a pillow fort, but I'm not sure I could do like an actual fort. A pillow fort, though, I will lay a pillow fort down hard. And so let's see if we can go into that magic thicket. I was wondering if that's where the monsters are spawning from, but it doesn't look like a... Well, we'll see what happens. It says can be looted by any unit, so I think I actually may be correct in assuming that that's what I think it is. These things have the worst movement ever. It's going to be tough to get them lined up here in... What is that city called again? Bone Fort. There we go. And what a coincidence. He's good at smashing forts. It's called Bone Fort. Hopefully he'll smash his way through. So without further pause here, let's give them a little rest. And the clerics, let's give them a little rest too. We did lose a few units in that last little melee, so it's a little disappointing, but we'll be alright. Let's see what he has for us here. He cast another group of wolves, and I'm surprised that we haven't been hit with any AoEs or anything. Because it was expected. There goes a group of veterans right there. Our Gallius took a little bit of a bombardment. He's sending rats into the battlefield, but nothing he's actually thrown in has done anything lately. What happened over here? It retreated. Oh good, we ran it off. So I don't know if I should run it down right now or if I should just let it go and kind of let it be, heed the words of John Lennon. We can go through and fire rounds. Let's just make sure nothing is too far out of range. Oh good. We will take this group of veterans and march it over here, and it will destroy these skeletons and conquer that graveyard. That's going to work out for us. And I don't think he wants any anymore. I think he rolled up in here trying to act hard, and now he's just kind of been run back to his mammy. And so I don't really, I'm not brave enough right now to assume that I can drive all these units out, but I am going to try with this Minotaur down here. I want to get rid of all these spawners. How good is this Leviathan? Not that good. I think the Leviathan won't actually do well against this group of Minotaurs. That reminds me of, I forget what the card was called. I used to play Magic the Gathering back in the day, and I had a card that was like a giant fish that was like a 10-10 or like a 12-12 or something absurd way back in the day. Now we got some level ups here. Let's go ahead and... What can we do? Let's give him a resistance to... Isn't he already like immune to death magic? Why would it even have that bonus? Let's give him some regen, and then we will hit Bone Fart with all of our might. We will punch it, and then we will punch it again. And we're not really smashing through the gates or anything, but we are doing a little bit of damage. That unit right there can rest. And I get the sneaking suspicion we're going to lose this Gallius no matter what I do, but I'll try and get him out of the way. Hopefully nothing can take him out. This is going to be a brief rest period here for most of my units. Rest! Why won't you rest? Weak. Alright, well they can shoot at the capital then. If they can't rest, they can at least kill. Because if you're not resting in my army, you should be killing. You should at least be slightly killing. Maybe just marginally wounding, but at least something. Now let's bring our dwarves up and up. Oh, we already moved the dwarves. Never mind. Okay, we've got the wizards here. And I think I am going to move the wizards. Actually, let's go ahead. We'll heal them with the clerics. There we go. And then we'll move them. That was probably the optimal thing that I could have done right there. And then we're going to bring in as many catapults as possible. Now, I doubt these are actually going to make it to bombarding distance. If I know the enemy at all, they'll be smart enough to drop an AoE on those. Or at least I hope that. I will lose lots of self-respect. Well, not self-respect. I will lose lots of respect for my foe if he doesn't do that. And so let's bring our heroes up. Let's make sure on this turn we clear out that thicket. Oh, we get some free mana. Okay, I'll take that. As long as we get some free mana, let's charge up another fireball, and then we'll drop it on that elemental up in the north. Oh, it's going to instacast. Nice! I like that very much. What could be better than an instacast? Drop it on him, just to let him know he's still on our radar. Oh, we put him on notice. Never mind. He got dropped right next to Elfbush. But that is really just the most unfortunate name ever for a city. Let's give them Furious Charge, because they're already dealing so much damage that I feel like anything that I can give them is only going to make them better. We're also going to go with Neville armor for them because we're going to bring them to the east after we finish off on this front. Let's also... Well, they've already been positioned. Never mind. And then we've got a second level up with our dwarves. And so we'll give them... Let's give them pathfinding. Pathfinding seems to be a pretty good thing to give them. We'll also throw them... Oh, I don't know. What could they use? They could use some magic resistance. So let's give them the Neville armor so that they're a little bit more impervious to bombardment. And then we need to rest our Minotaurs. Our Minotaurs are weary. They are weary and sleepy from fighting vampires. And so, what else is going on here? By the way, I tried to watch True Blood. Like, I tried to get into it, but I just can't do it, guys. I can't do it. I've been subjected to True Blood for the last couple days. My significant other has been trying to get me to watch it for some time now, and I don't know. Should I stick with it? I don't know. It's gonna... I don't really know what I should do with that show. It's just not gripping me. I'm not a big vampire person. It's just me personally. But anyways... Back to business here. We could send somebody through the magic portal and see what happens. I'd rather just leave some units here on guard and then hopefully things work out okay. We'll leave a group of infantry with a group of clerics and hopefully that'll be enough to get things done the way we like to. And so, let's pass a turn. Wrong unit, idiot. God, he dropped it on my archers instead of the catapults. He is just not using his time very well. And he should be more or less immune to any type of... arrow damage. He is immune to being arrowed. He's very difficult to arrow, I can assure you. And so he's gonna hit those wolves a little bit. They're really trying to dogpile on him, but luckily since he's not a squad unit, we don't have to worry about it. That sea serpent's gonna piss off a little bit. We'll keep them resting. We'll allow them to rest this turn too. Let's go ahead and batter the gates. Good, we did a little bit of damage there. Will it die this turn? No, it's got way too much HP. There's no way we're getting this guy done. And so, where is my Caravellis at? Let's get him... Everything we do up until now is just going to be until we can get him back into the fray and bombarding again. It's going to be tough to move all these catapults over the mountains. They have wheels. They're tough to push. Even at a strange angle. Even if we had, like, I don't know, wedges and things, it would still be tough. Wedges, ramps, and so forth. Simple machines for those engineers out there among you. Now, we've got some construction to be done, and it's going to be here in Blackcliff. Just to be a contrarian. Just so we can say that we did, it's Whitecliff. We're going to rename it just to spite, just to spit in their eye. And so I'm going to go with a craftsman's district, give ourselves a little bit more cash. We have a new quest, which is going to be to kill the ancient liches. Where are they? They're in the middle of my territory. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? Of course they're in the middle of my territory. Where else would the ancient liches be? I guess we'll hit them with some arrows, and then... What is this one able to fire at? That's a little concern. Oh god, they're everywhere. Alright, so let's bring... Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. So let's attack with them, destroy that hive. There we go. Maybe we'll get some relics out of it. That's the bonus part to having to fight all these battles, is that if you have to destroy this many little kind of settlements and things of that nature, sometimes you end up with some pretty cool relics. Is there anything over in... I haven't seen any auto fires over here. I really want this halberd hall, so hopefully that'll expand pretty soon. And our final bombardment is available through here. It can go that far? Really? That's a pretty impressive bombardment. I mean, I did it just based on principle. They're not going to be able to hurt anything, but why not? We've got a level up here. Let's give them a... let's just keep going with our... Let's stick to our guns with our offensive plan there. Our plan's pretty offensive, but we like to keep it around. It runs off the new friendships, but what can you do? Our ogre has already taken a stab at the city. These guys have city fighter, which means I think they can actually wound Bonefort fairly well. Our hero has already moved, and I need to just stop clicking random units. Let's go ahead and bring our clerics back up this way. We'll kind of throw them into combat pretty soon. We've got this group of dwarves and another level 12 right here. So the problem is I don't know if this is his capital or this is his capital. What level is my capital? 12. Yeah, so it's got to be one of these two. I wish that I had 2 level 12 cities. That'd be pretty amazing. Unfortunately, he seems to have gotten the jump on me when it comes to settlements. Now, we can't fight the Leviathan, but we can conquer that graveyard real fast. And I think that Sea Serpent is probably going to give us hell if we leave them right there, but it won't let me move them any further. So unfortunately, we may have hell coming to us. They are going to be on guard, so there we go. And then there's a diplomatic change. So Nicholas Frost has declared war, which Nicholas Frost has been more or less useless this entire time. It's been us against the world. It's been versus the world for those Amon Amarth fans out there among you. For us, he's going to Okay, so that's a little bit better. Well done, buddy. That's a little bit better. That's kind of what I expected. That was a bit more mileage out of the attack. I should probably be blasting him like crazy too, given how much mana I have. Our ogre is fighting wolves again. Our lupine friends don't seem to like him very much. Bulgaria is going to take a shot from there. He's still just rolling around with that unit, and we're going to lose a Minotaur right there. Unfortunate, but you live with it. The Liches, are they a ranged unit? Oh, they are. How lovely. Oh, God. They are a powerful ranged unit. So we're going to have to deal with them thusly. We are actually going to have to do something to them pretty shortly. Let's go ahead, and I believe that I'll bring the catapult to... Let's go ahead, and I guess I'll put it right there. I mean, it's a little risky, but we'll stick with it. Let's get the Caravellis or the Gallius back up and ready to roll. Man, we got these Liches down here are the prime concern for me at the moment. So they aren't getting any health back, which is good. If they got health back, this whole situation would just be worse and worse and worse. But as it is, are they weak versus anything? They're probably weak versus melee, given how hard they tried to hit the Minotaurs. That's my sneaking suspicion. My guess is that they're kind of weak to melee. I didn't really check their stats. Yeah, they're weak to melee. That's more or less what I assumed. How are they against magic? Can I finish him right now? Oh, I can. Good. Go away. I don't like you. And down he goes. So we got Call of Life, which is going to restore a full... Wow, it actually restores the full health of a unit. That could actually end up being fairly useful in the future. Unfortunately, because he's got 9 health left, I don't know if he's going to survive this skeleton right here. We can only hope that he does, because I don't really want to lose one of my Minotaurs right now. Let's handle our construction business here in Splattertopia. And it looks like we've got not a whole lot. I mean, we can just keep pumping out Craftsman's District, to be honest. We'll put it right there in the plains. It looks more like a tundra, but isn't a tundra just an Arctic plain or something like that? There's like some specificity to the whole thing that I don't remember. Over here, we'll leave them on guard, I suppose. This guy, definitely going to want him to take a swipe at the city if he can. All of these guys are going to continue just bashing away at it, just throwing their lives away. I mean, throwing their unlives away. They're already dead, so I guess they're not throwing much away. Unless being undead is like super awesome. If being undead is super amazing, then I guess they are throwing something away. We got this unit right here. I may consider lining up for another kind of invasion right here, just off the top of my head. 57 damage, and that may be actually what I do. So let's go ahead and we'll just situate for another fight right here. We will take this hero and we'll have him kind of do some damage there. The wizards will do their bombardment, and I may actually dedicate one catapult to Ossus Batum and the other one to there, because I think once the Gallius gets back, it should be able to knock him out fairly simply, all things considered. We have a group here that has not moved yet, and so they'll deal a little more damage. They got a nice critical hit. This group, unfortunately, cannot attack Leviathans, so we're going to have them retreat a tad. Now, these could probably move forward and still hit them, but until we get them away from the ocean, there's not much we can do there. We'll bring that cleric up. And this group of Minotaurs is going to sally forth. Well, we're not sallying against anything, but we will move them to the east, at least, because they are beast, and we need them in combat. And so, let's pass this turn. We'll see what happens. I was expecting that. I was pretty sure we were going to catch another one there. They're still... I mean, I'd probably be doing the same thing. I think maybe Nicholas Frost is hitting him up here in the north for once actually doing something to contribute to the overall nature of the combat. And he's going to bombard Bulgaria again. Bulgaria has just been... Bulgaria and Sweden both have just been holding it down. Both of them have just been amazing allies in this overall conflict. And it looks like they're going to attack Karoth. What a terrible waste of a move. I don't even know what they're thinking right there. And it should go down this turn, I think. And we'll see what happens here. Did we capture it? Oh, we didn't. So close. No, we did. Hey, King Lich, we killed him. It was his capital. We gambled, and we won. And so we got our Elven Bowmaster. And so now, what we want to do is talk to Nicholas Frost, and we have an alliance with him, so I don't really know when it's going to pop in and be like, hey, you win, diplomatic victory. But it may. Now, all these are going to go neutral from what I understand, and I don't know if we still have to pacify them. I don't really know how this whole process is going to work. It's pretty rare that I actually finish a game. I'm going to get my Gallius healed so that we can knock out some of the towers and destroy some of the other obnoxious little things that are going to be bothering us for the rest of the game if we don't. I really don't know if these are going to function independently or if it just created like a neutral faction, because it's a different color. It's not brown, it's actually white. And so we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and we'll put in yet another market. We're keeping it simple. We've got almost everything we could possibly need at this point. So why mix it up too much? We'll do a mana trap over here since it'll let us. We've got loads of mana though, so that might be a little bit of a waste. We can take shots at somebody here, if it'll let me click it. Let's see, what can I shoot at? Oh, the Ghost Wolves. There we go. And that actually was completely, yeah, that was less than optimal. Whatever. Not gonna worry about it. Let's move our catapult forward. And I think we're more or less, yeah, I like where we're at right now. We've learned weakness, which we're not going to be able to use just yet. We'll select new research though. We'll go with haste. Lower the lands. We'll just go with haste, whatever. Over here, we can take shots at somebody, but probably not the best way to spend my time. We'll kill off that group of skeletons. We'll rest that group of minotaurs. We'll rest that group of soldiers. And we'll handle our level ups too. So we'll give them, let's give them the pathfinding that lets me move through terrible terrain. The clerics have leveled up once again, and they can take a baseline resistance to death. Okay, let's go ahead and give them healing power, because that's all I've been using them for anyway, so you might as well stick to your guns there. What else? Okay, so we've got our final group of Minotaurs is up and ready to roll. We are quite the Minotaur chieftain at the moment, and I like that. We'll continue to try and decimate Ossus Batum while we're passing this turn. These guys are ready to go. And I think they should finally be able to get away from that conflict over there. That's good. What is this right here? Oh, my wizards. My wizards. Okay, well, so I'll let them rest, I guess. Bring this unit over, have them take a quick swipe. Why not? Why not? We're not really going to need the army for anything. We've got Felixa Lightfoot, who appears to be a archer. Let's go ahead and take a look at her. So yeah, she can use a bow. So we will give her Aubin Oxley's bow. And then we'll also, well, we don't have anything else to give her. Unfortunately, we give both the armors to Gar, which is fine because he's actually on the front lines. So her movement's pretty impressive. I get the feeling she's going to be helpful if this ends up lasting longer than I would like it to. Let's go ahead and get her upgraded with all the things she might need. So we'll give her Neville. Fine armor, sure. Enchanted weapons, yep, masterwork armor. And then we're also going to drill her real fast. And so now that she's been fully drilled, we'll pass this turn, and I will do my spiel. So my name is Splattercat. We are right about at our time limit at the moment, so thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle for another episode in which things turned around a little bit. This one was a tad more optimistic, so I'm happier with the way this episode turned out, and I hope you'll choose to join me for the next episode where we pretty much close up shop, unless at the end of this turn it gives us a win. So let's see what happens here, because I really don't want to have to come back and be like, here's just a verbal lesson that, okay, so we do get more turns, so we'll figure out what's going on next time. Take care out there, everybody.